Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to work with PVC on our vSphere with Tanzu infrastructure. So we are going to create a PVC. We are going to create a pod, which is in the end going to use that PVC. And then we are going to delete the deployment. So for this test time, again, we are going to use the Nginx pod. And on top of it, we are going to create a PVC. So let's start with the demo here. So in the UI, you can see if we have 3 pods which we deployed in our last video. So if you select the cluster, uh, go to monitor, and then at the bottom, you should see an option for cloud native storage. Uh, Somehow I'm having some issues in loading this page, but no worries. Let's skip it. I'll show you from another way how to we can look into it later on. So this is the namespace 01 under which we are going to create the PVCs. Currently the persistent volume claims are as 0. So we don't have any persistent volume at the moment, claims at the moment. If you'll see here, the storage policy that we are going to use is K8s-policies. So if I show you the YAML to create the PVC, before that, let me first, of course, log into our vSphere with Tanzu infrastructure using kubectl vSphere login command. Once done, I'll just switch the context to our namespace -01 because that's what we are going to use as a namespace. Now, all right, so this is the YAML, the PVC YAML. So the kind is showing as persistent volume claim. Name is my-pvc. The storage class that I'm going to use is k8s-policy, which is there in the UI that you saw. Now, the same policy which you see here. Now, what we can do is we can go ahead and apply this YAML file using kubectl apply-f. Once done, if you run the command to get PVC, we can see the deployment, the PVC deployment there. So get PVC, you can see it's currently showing as pending. Now it's showing as bound, and we have a volume ID. The PVC has been created. Now let's double check if I'm able to access the PVC through this section. Generally, this is what we use. I guess this is not working for me, but never mind. So this is the namespace. If you'll see, the persistent volume claim is showing as 1. If I click it, this is my PVC which I created. If you want to see the YAML, you can click this option. This is the YAML file for this PVC. The capacity is 3 gig, and let's go back here. This is the PVC creation methodology. Now this is the second YAML file which will help us to create a pod and then bind this PVC to that pod. The name is showing as pod with PV deployment. App is pod, replica is 1. Name is Nginx. The name of the container will be my app. And under this volume section, you see my volume. The persistent volume claim I'm doing it to my PVC, my-PVC, which I created earlier. So if I apply this, do a get pod, I should see a new pod being created. Now this deployment might take some time. So currently it is showing as pending. One thing is you can do kubectl get pod again and again to validate the progress, or you can simply add a watch command. So let's just type in watch, then kubectl get pods, and it should show you the progress. Currently showing as pending. All right, so on the UI, you can see the quad is currently showing as pending. You can validate it from here as well. So either from SSH or from UI, you can uh, monitor the deployment status. So it's been 2 minutes. It's still showing as pending, but we can't do much. We'll have to wait for this to get completed. From the workload management, you can select this namespace, and currently it is showing as 4 pod and 1 persistent volume claims, but no progress from the uh, pod standpoint. So now you can see that the pod is finally running after 3 minutes and 22 seconds, which is a good news. Uh, Now I can run a describe on this pod. Under the description, you should see the error that we were having some issues in attaching the volume for a moment. It was timed out, but the read write finally succeeded. Uh, and if you'll see the details for this claim, the claim name is my-pvc. So it has claimed that PVC which we created earlier. So that's how you create a PVC and then mount that PVC or bound that PVC to a pod. Generally, this is relevant to the developing developer standpoint. And this is the pod, which is currently showing as running. Not much changes here. It's all default structure. Let's go back to our SSH, and now we are going to delete the deployment. So in order to delete it, you can run a kubectl, do a get deployment first to get the deployment name. So pod with pv deployment is the name. So you can do a kubectl delete deployment and then give the name pod with pv deployment. Just copy it and paste it here. Now the deployment is deleted. Now you can go ahead and delete the PVC as well. You can clean it up. You can do a delete PVC, the name my-PVC, and this should be done here as well. Thank you very much for watching this video.